Hello, hello, my friends. We are into the first week of the month of April, which means it is time for me to get back on track and let's talk some candles. This is a series that I like to do twice a month here on my channel, typically twice a month. That's always my goal. I call this my candle chat series. This is basically where I sit down, I share with you what I am currently burning in my candle rotation. I share with you maybe some initial post-burn thoughts, some follow-up thoughts after I've done dedicated reviews. Maybe these are some old favorites that I went ahead and pulled back in. So yeah, just sitting down and talking about wax. Now, we did just have April Fools a couple of days ago, and I got to tell you guys, my camera and my mic decided to prank me because this is actually the second time that I have filmed this video. I sat down, I filmed this entire video the other day, and when I went to edit it, my microphone was extremely echoey. So I'm really hoping, in fact, I'm going to double check here. Looks like it's not doing that right now, but hopefully not. But anyways, hopefully the microphone is okay this time around. If things get messed up, I guess it's just not meant to be. But yes, I filmed this video the other day and I'm having to sit down and refilm it again. But yeah, that was the joke that was played on me. I hope you guys didn't have any terrible pranks played on you over the last week. So anyways, I've got a wide variety of candles to talk about here. We've got a lot of Kringle, some Homeworx, we've got some caramel sundaes. So I do want to give you guys some thoughts on all of these candles. So make sure you grab a snack, grab a drink, settle in. We're going to just chat some wax. As always, all of the candles that I talk about today will be listed down below. If I have any affiliate discount codes, that will be down there as well. And I do always like to include timestamps so that way you can go back and easily refer to specific candles that I talk about in this video. So let's go ahead and dive in. Before I forget, I do always like to share what I am currently burning, so that way I don't forget, because what ends up happening is I see what's in front of me and then I forget to share what I am currently burning. So out here in the living room right now, I am actually burning the Luxe size candle of the Homeworx Tangerine Palazzo. Now this was part of the winter Elton John collaboration that Homeworx did with the wonderful music artist Elton John. This fragrance, I don't have the fragrance notes in front of me. I really hope that they bring this fragrance back. In fact, I have heard some rumblings about a spring Elton John collection. The Homeworx affiliates haven't been given any information about that yet, but I do know that one is coming up here pretty soon. And I think that they should bring this fragrance back as part of the spring collection because this fragrance is beautiful. It reminds me an awful lot of Nest's, was it Sicilian Orange? But there's a little bit more, or Sicilian Tangerine. I think it's Sicilian Tangerine. Sicilian Orange, is that Kringle? Oh boy, I'm getting all of my fragrances mixed up. But I'm telling you, I want to say it was called Sicilian Tangerine from Nest. It's definitely not orange fragrance. It's definitely more of a tangerine type of fragrance. It's fresh. It's fruity. Oh, it's so good. And of course, it's in one of those giant Luxe candles. So it is filling up my entire space right now. Strength and throw on it is about a 9. So I really hope that they bring that fragrance back. And then in my bedroom right now, I am currently burning Kringle candles, Yuzu and Sage. It's part of their new lineup. Again, don't have the fragrance notes in front of me. I do remember that one had like a smorgasbord of fruity fragrances listed on the fragrance notes. I will tell you that one, to my nose, comes across almost peach-like, but not like a fresh, juicy peach. I think it's like kind of that peachy scent when it's mixed with a little bit of a citrus. I do get citrus notes in there, tiny hint of green, but nowhere near the green notes that I detect in a lot of their floral fragrances, or even as heavy of a green note as, say, the mandarin petals, or even like, what's the other one? Easter petals, which I have here and I'll talk about. I think I have it here. Yes, I do. I'll talk about that. Nowhere near that level of greenness in the candle. It's definitely more, I would say it's probably one of the fruitiest fragrances from the new spring and summer launch from Kringle. But that one I'm enjoying quite a bit. It's a little bit light for me. I don't want to say light. It's probably like between like a 6.5, 7 in terms of strength and throw right now. Filling up the master bedroom pretty nicely. But out here, I need to burn it out here in the open concept a little bit more. But I did think that it would pair nicely with that Tangerine Palazzo, and it is. And then the other candle that I am currently burning in my daughter's room at the moment is Homeworx's raspberry whipped cream. I think that's what it's called. Okay, here's the thing. I like that fragrance. It's a really nice raspberry scent. Is it anything earth shattering? No, it's not. It's been around before. I feel like I don't feel like it's a repackage, but it kind of reminds me of like Bath and Body Works raspberry body care. It's nice, but again, nothing earth shattering. The thing I will say about that fragrance right now, or that candle in particular, is that it is burning really hot and fast. Like the wicks are developing pretty large carbon balls at the end. The flames are pretty high. I did see my friend Melanie, Mr. Khan's mom. She has burned the 3 Homeworx candles that were sent to quite a few of the affiliates about a week and a half ago. And she was saying all 3 of hers have been burning pretty hot and fast. Now, the only one that I have been really dedicating some burn time to so far has been that raspberry whipped vanilla. Raspberry whipped vanilla. Is that what it's called? I'll pop up. I'll make sure that I have included here in the B-roll for you guys if I haven't done so already. But yeah, it's a nice fragrance. It's raspberry, but you definitely get the vanilla note in there, but it leans almost body care like. I kind of like it. It's nice. Is it going to be a repurchase for me? No. But make sure you guys stay tuned for my dedicated post-burn review. I do plan to upload that for you this week. But it's a nice fragrance. But again, be cautious because that one is burning really, really hot and fast. Like I'm only on the 4th burn of it, and I'm already starting to see the top of the wick nickels on it. So just might want to be a little bit aware of that. Let's go ahead and start out with, let's see here. I'm going to start out with a Caramel Sundays candle. Now, if I get to uploading this video on Sunday, which is my plan. It'll probably go up a little bit later on Sunday than I typically like to let these videos go live. You will have seen my Caramel Sundays haul went up this morning, which is Saturday morning. And in that video, I shared with you the fragrances that I bought during the March restock. So one of the candles that I tested out this week, and I do see myself burning it more this week for all of you guys, is the fragrance Golden Hour. Now, Golden Hour has fragrance notes of top notes of orange, mid notes of peach and coconut, and base notes of sandalwood and vanilla. So like I said, I've only burned this candle once, and I did burn it about 3 nights ago, I would say. Here's my takeaways on this one. I can see why this is a very popular fragrance. It is a little bit more perfumey, but not like musky, heavy perfumey. I do detect the notes, like the fruity notes in here, are mixing with the sandalwood, and I'm not mad about it. I do like it because I think that's what makes this fragrance smell a little bit more elevated. It's not your typical like straight up fruity type of summery fragrance. There is some perfuminess to it, which I do think is coming from, what is it, the sandalwood and the vanilla. I do detect a little bit of coconut in here, but again, it's not overwhelming coconut. I think the blend of the sandalwood, coconut, peach. Now, if you saw Cody's reaction, Cody does not like peach fragrances, and he doesn't detect peach in here, but I smell a little bit of a stone fruit in here. This is a hard fragrance for me to truly say exactly what it smells like. My friend Connor says that this reminds him an awful lot of the now retired fragrance from Yankee Candle, which was called Golden Sands. So if you liked that fragrance, you might want to take the risk on this one. I will make sure that I burn this candle a little bit more this week because this is one of the fragrances that is going to be restocked in the April restock. So I do want to be able to give you guys some dedicated post-burn thoughts on this candle. This is one of their most popular summer fragrances. But what I will tell you is that the other night on the first burn, I did burn this in what I'm going to call a hurricane. I basically have repurposed my Luxe size. I finished the spun vanilla sugar in the Homeworx Luxe size about a month and a half ago, and I have repurposed that vessel to use as a hurricane. So I burned this candle in that little hurricane on the first one out here in the open concept living room. Strength and throw in the hurricane, mind you, was good on this. Like Solid, I would say the throw was about an 8.5. Strength was also about an 8. But what I want to say is that this fragrance by nature is not like, when I say it's the strength of the candle, it's definitely detectable and noticeable, but it's not going to give you a headache. It's not taking over the space. It's definitely noticeable. People smell it. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm also saying it's an 8 is because I extinguished this candle before going to bed. I woke up the next morning and I could still smell it out here in the living room, which kind of surprised me because, again, this fragrance wasn't something that was so overwhelmingly strong that I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be lingering for a while, but it did. So, yeah, I will continue to give you guys some more thoughts on this, but perfumey, maybe even slightly soapy, would I say? This is like kind of like a fancy lady scent, but like a summertime vibe fancy lady scent. I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. I'll put my thoughts together a little bit more for the post burn on that candle. All right, so this week I started burning again. You guys know, my beloved lemon sugar marshmallow, which at the time that I'm filming this, I believe that Kringle still has the Easter candles 30% off. I do always say if you're going to pick up one, well, let me put it this way. The Easter collection is really, really good. If you are a fan of lemon gourmand fragrances, I personally, this is my #1 lemon gourmand fragrance of all time. In fact, I pulled what I affectionately called a Melanie. I actually messaged Mick Kittredge the other day on Instagram and I said, just letting you know, I will riot in the streets if you ever get rid of lemon sugar marshmallow. I love, love, love this fragrance. Now, fragrance notes on lemon sugar marshmallow are lemon, sweet, lemon zest, pastry, vanilla, and sugar. And for those of you who may have missed maybe some of the dedicated reviews or whatnot, lemon sugar marshmallow, this fragrance is the exact same or sweet as can be in the 3-wick is a lemon sugar marshmallow in a 3-wick format. They have different names, but it is the exact same fragrance. I burn them side by side. They are the same fragrance, just letting you know. Oh, this is so good. This reminds me of a lemon bar. You get some of that like shortbread in the very, very base note, but it's not too dense. The lemon note in here is the same lemon note to my nose as the 2023 Cosmic Cupcakes from Country Candle. It's very tart, but also sugary at the same time. Oh, it's so well done. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to give you guys some feedback on this. So I had a couple of you guys comment and a couple of people actually message me over on Instagram asking, hey, Katie, can you burn the 2025 lemon sugar marshmallow to see how the wicks are? Because when I bought it in 2024, I went to light it up this year and the wicks are severely struggling. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I got the first round from this release in 2024, burned through an entire lemon sugar marshmallow with no problems. But remember when they initially launched that last year in 2024, they sold out of it very quickly and then they repoured more and then they released those a couple of weeks later. Well, when they did that release, I went ahead and I purchased a backup, left it in my closet, didn't break it out to light again. So I had been burning this one, the 2025 version, which I wanted to tell you guys, the wicks are burning beautifully, not too aggressive, not too little. It's burning fine. I'm having absolutely no burn issues with this. But I thought that's interesting. You know what? I better burn my 2024 one just to see, if it was just those people that were having those issues. You guys, I lit up my 2024 one, and sure enough, the same thing happened to me that a lot of you guys have been complaining. The wick, one of my wicks extinguished itself on the first burn. I don't know what happened with those wicks, which was really disappointing. Now, that being said, I do have a candle crock. So that is how I will extract the fragrance from that 2024 version. It's disappointing, but also I have said that this fragrance is one of the most versatile fragrances for this time of year. It pairs nicely with a lot of florals. It pairs well with a lot of other gourmands. So I know that I'll get my fragrance out of it, I should say. But yeah, I did want to let you guys know. My theory is that when they repoured the candles in 2024, maybe they weren't anticipating that. Maybe they had some extra wicks. I think, remember like late 2023, early 2024, they were doing some wick experimentation. We ran into issues with the Country Candle line. And I'm just wondering if those wonky wicks that people were having an issue with in some of the other lines were the ones that were used for that Easter re-pour of lemon sugar marshmallow last year. I don't know. That's my theory. I don't have any proof for that. But anyways, long ways of saying that if you like lemon sugar marshmallow, the 2025 version is burning perfectly for me. But yeah, even I had some issues with that second round of the 2024 one. So wanted to put that out there. A fragrance that I've actually been burning alongside the lemon sugar marshmallow is from the Reserve line. And this has been in my collection for, goodness, a year and a half now. This is Sweet Geometry. Not a fragrance typically in my wheelhouse. I don't have the fragrance notes listed on the bottom of this one. This was, I think I purchased this prior to them starting to incorporate that more so. Now this to me, I will tell you guys, I am not always a fan of cherry fragrances, to be honest with you. Cherry's not really my thing. I do like the cherry fragrance in this candle. And the reason why, this kind of reminds me a little bit of like jelly beans mixed with a little bit of like, not necessarily ice cream, but there is like a vanilla base to this. But I get cherry, but I also get some citrus notes in here that kind of balance out the, I would say, the cherryness of cherry. Cherry fragrances are not my favorite. In fact, I'm going to talk about two of them today that I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not loving those so much right now. But this I can get behind. I like this. This does pair really nicely with that lemon sugar marshmallow right now because, again, there's some citrus in here. I get a little bit of lemon, maybe even a little bit of lime and orange in here, mixed with, like I said, that cherry note. But the cherry note in here is not coming across too medicinal. It's very sweet, kind of candied cherry. I am liking it. Now, I will say this one for me does have a lighter strength and throw. I'm going to give this one about 6. It burns a little bit better in a closed concept bedroom than out here in the open concept. Now, this particular one that I am burning has a pour date of October 4th of 2023. So again, I've had it a little bit longer, but this has been a nice pairing with that lemon sugar marshmallow. And then another Reserve candle that I love pairing with lemon sugar marshmallow, the beloved, the one that everybody raves about, jelly donut. Now, a couple of months ago, I actually had 2 of these jelly donuts in my collection. And I don't know what got into me. Every once in a while, I get like super overwhelmed by my candle collection. And I actually ended up gifting one of these to a really, really good friend of mine for Christmas. And honestly, I'm not mad at myself for doing that because when the 4-wick restocks of Jelly Donut, I would like to go ahead and purchase it in that format. Now, I will tell you, the 2-wick in and of itself does very, very well. It fills up this room. In fact, this candles for me starts to throw within 10 minutes of lighting it. Oh, it's just so well done. Fragrance notes of raspberry, blackberry, pastry, fruit, citrus, butter, and vanilla. Now, I do know that there are some people, I've seen you in the Facebook group, and you're okay. You don't need to go into the witness protection program or anything. There are some people who don't like this fragrance, but the majority of people have really enjoyed this. I will say I don't get a lot of donut from this. I do get more of that raspberry filling, but I do like the take on this because it is more raspberry and blackberry. It's not straight up artificial raspberry to my nose. It's just done so, so well. And again, it's if you want a candle that's going to perform strongly for you, this is the one to go with. It's just always such a good performer. All right, let's switch it up with the brands a little bit here. I'm going to talk about another Caramel Sundays candle that I recently hauled. So this is Positano. Fragrance notes are top notes of warm sandalwood, mid notes of sweet vanilla, and base note of tonka bean. So this candle, I was thinking, okay, this is going to smell like dark salt and coconut. Very different fragrance. This to me, I think it's the sandalwood note in here is kind of giving a little bit of like a powdery perfuminess to this fragrance. I'm going to be honest, it's not my favorite. I would say that this is probably one of my least favorite candles that I purchased from Caramel Sundays, which is fine, you guys. I don't hate it, but it's not, it's the powderiness of this. It's something that I'm just like, I'm not loving it. However, my daughter really enjoys this, so I did burn this in her bedroom the other night. Performed quite well. Again, filled up the room. I would give this one probably about a 7 on strength and throw. These, for the amount of time that I have burned it so far. Good clean burn, not having any issues with that. But yeah, my My daughter really likes this. I have seen, or I was looking at some of the comments. A couple of you guys are suggesting pairing this with the dark salt and coconut, which I do still have some of that candle. So I think I will go ahead and do that pairing together. But yeah, it's kind of like, I would call it like a powdery vanilla. I guess that's the best way that I can put it. Um, a little bit musky. It's not my favorite, but my daughter loves it. And truthfully, I actually thought that this would be a safe one. I bought this candle and sent it to my sister in California. You know, when I have talked about people who are very fragrance sensitive in my family, I'm referring to my sister a lot of the time. I do have some close friends too who are also a little bit sensitive, but my sister gets headaches really easily. Like she can't burn Bath and Body Works, she can't burn Yankee, pretty much any of the ones that are not quote unquote clean candle brands, she can't burn them because she instantaneously gets headaches from them. However, I am happy to report that she got this candle the other night and she said that it smelled very clean to her. She liked it. She kind of called it her Golden Girls candle because she said it kind of reminds me a little bit of like an older lady's perfume, but in a good way, like in a nostalgic type of way. But she also said it did not give her a headache. It didn't give her any problems. So if that is something that you might be concerned about, that is the feedback I got from my crunchy sister. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, another fragrance that I have determined that I want a backup of. It's currently out of stock, and I was like, darn it. But this is one that it's funny. It's not really a fragrance that I would really burn this time of year because it's a gourmand, but we did have some rainy weather last week, and I thought that this was just the perfect fragrance. It's so cozy. Y'all, red velvet. I honestly, just, I know it's early in the year. We're only like just finished up with the first quarter. Don't be surprised if at the end of the year, this fragrance it will definitely be in my top 10 fragrances, if not my top 5. I mean, we still have a lot of the year left to have new stuff come out, but this red velvet fragrance, perfect. Now, there is no cream cheese frosting note in here, which quite frankly, I'm actually not mad about. This to me smells like a red velvet cake baking in the oven. So we have fragrance notes of chocolate, sweet, milk chocolate, cocoa, and vanilla cream. And a lot of people have said this smells like a chocolate fragrance to them, which I understand. Yes, red velvet cake does have cocoa included in the batter for, making a cake. But one of the things that separates it, or one of the ingredients that is usually in a red velvet cake, is white vinegar. And that is what kind of alters the flavor and fragrance profile of a red velvet cake. And I'm going to tell you, this to me smells so authentic to a red velvet cake baking in the oven. It's different than your regular chocolate fragrance. It's just so well done. You're not getting the any kind of frosting note. So those of you who want frosting note, you will be disappointed because it's not in here, but it's also not pictured here. So, I feel like they stayed on top of that with their marketing, but this is just so good and it performs so well. Strength and throw on this one is almost a 9 inside of my house. When I burn it out here in the open concept, fills up the space, wants to go all the way to the bedrooms. Oh, it's just fantastic. And I have decided, I love red velvet cake to eat anyways. So this is one that I definitely want a backup of. I hope that they put it in a 4-wick because that is one of the fragrances that I would burn in a 4-wick. While we are talking about cake fragrances, the fragrance that I was burning it with, and I wanted to give some feedback to all of you guys, is this Caramel Sundays Bakery on Maine. Now, we know, and I told you guys this in the video yesterday, that Bakery on Maine is kind of like the flagship fragrance for caramel sundaes. This is their most popular fragrance. It's probably the candle that they have re-poured the most. And it kind of makes sense because it is a vanilla fragrance. Fragrance notes on Bakery on Maine are top notes of sugar, mid notes of bakery, dough, and butter, and a base note of vanilla buttercream. And if you caught that video yesterday, my best comparison to this for this fragrance would be if you like Bath and Body Works Vanilla Bean. It smells similar. I think that's what I was comparing it to the most when I started smelling it. I'm like, I feel like I have smelled this before. I did also try their Whoville Bakery candle back in November, December. It was part of my very first Caramel Sundays order, and that was in a 2-wick. And when I did my review on that, I did say that the fragrance was very light. Even though it was enjoyable, it was very light. I said, in fairness, vanilla fragrances are very difficult to make strong without altering the fragrance profile. So I bought this in a 4-wick thinking, okay, 4 wicks, it might be, might give it a little bit more oomph behind it. Here's what I'm going to say, you guys. Okay, I've been on the Caramel Sundays train. I love Caramel Sundays as a brand. Clearly, I keep buying their candles. I will be buying more here in April. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on them. I like them. I see why this is a flagship fragrance because, again, people love vanilla. Vanilla is a very little black dress of the fragrance community. You can blend it with so many other fragrances. And I myself even see why this scent is so popular. Here's my but. It's light. You guys, this fragrance is very light for me. Now, I've made it no secret. I actually was talking to a couple of other candle friends saying, I'm beginning to think that this open concept space here has put a curse on vanilla fragrances because I have yet to find a vanilla fragrance, like a true vanilla, like this, like Vanilla Bean, like Homeworx has done vanillas. From any brand that I have tried vanilla from, the fragrance gets completely lost out here in my living room. So I don't know if that is a byproduct. I'm starting to suspect it's somewhat a byproduct of the design, the layout, the ceiling height, even the ceiling height in this room, you guys. Like right now, if I look up, it's kind of like vaulted. Like, so my living room, the ceiling angle is like this, so it's not even like a flat roof vaulted ceilings. It's kind of at an angle. Just out here in the open concept living room, I had this burning the other day and I could not smell it. Now, what I did do was I did end up moving it into, I'm sorry, I want to keep holding it up so that way you guys know what I'm talking about, but my arm's getting a little tired. Did a workout the other day and my arms are tired. We'll move arms here. But what I wanted to say is that this fragrance was burning the other day. I could not smell it out here. I moved it into my bedroom. Now that's where I'm going to say I can see how this performs well, or not performs well, why it's popular depending on your layout of home. Because when I move this into my bedroom, which has lower ceilings, more closed concept, this performed beautifully in there. When I burned it in there, it was definitely, I would give it about like a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Filled up that closed concept room. Again, lower ceilings, but I could smell it really well. It threw all the way into my master bedroom or master bathroom, the ensuite, filled up the master bedroom, but out here in the living room, it got lost. So for me, fragrances like that is why I usually cap it at about a 6, because if they get lost in the open concept living room, I know that their max fragrance height at that time is a 6. So I did already tell, or not tell, but like I did when Sierra and I were talking back and forth on Instagram, that's one of the owners of Caramel Sundays. I did tell her that I said, I do know that vanilla fragrances are very difficult to formulate. And, it's not just Caramel Sundays. It is every brand that I have tried vanilla. If you look at all of my reviews, if you find a vanilla-based candle, I'm going to tell you they didn't perform well in my house. And so that is kind of what I'm finding with this, unfortunately, so far. But I will tell you, if you have more of a closed concept, it might perform better for you. That being said, I love this scent so much that I will continue to burn it as a complimentary fragrance in my bedroom because I love the scent so, so much. I even might contemplate burning it here in my kitchen because the kitchen ceiling heights are lower. I'm going to see how it does in there before I give you guys like a dedicated post burn on this. But Bakery on Maine, I do know, is coming back this launch in the 2-wick format as well as in the like huge 150 ounce candle. It is coming back in that format, but I'll try to make sure that I give you guys the dedicated review. But I did want to say that I see where it's popular. I can see why so many people love it. It's very crowd pleasing. There's nothing offensive about it, but it's very light for me. So did want to put that out there. Hey Piper, can you let Ruby out for me, please? All right. Sorry, the cat. She wants out of here. Goodness, where are we at? Oh my goodness, we're already almost at 30 minutes and I still have a lot more candles to talk about. Let's speed this up a little bit. All right, we are now in the month of April. We have Easter coming up in a couple of weeks, which means all things lilac. I do love lilac fragrances. And this is from the Reserve collection from Kringle. This came out about 2 months ago. This is Lilac and Lily. Fragrance notes of lilac, lily, green, floral, musk, and moss. And oh my word, oh, do I love this scent so, so much. Now, I will tell you that fresh lilac from Kringle Candle is still probably, I want to say it's my #1 fragrance, but truthfully, I'm going to tell you guys, this one paired with fresh lilac is just the ultimate lilac fragrance combination. This to me is more lilac petals. You get a little bit of lily and a little bit more greenness in this candle, whereas fresh lilac is definitely more like a fresh cut lilac. You get a little bit more of the woody stem element in that fragrance. They're both very, very well done. This candle for me is about a 7 on strength and throw. I still have about half of the wax to burn on this. I was burning it a little bit this week, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it aside and probably burn this the week heading into Easter. This is the fragrance along with fresh lilac and probably lemon sugar marshmallow that I will be burning on Easter Sunday. But yeah, I just love, love, love that fragrance. Let's see here. I'm trying to give you guys some feedback on a couple of other candles. Easter Brunch, you guys know, love this scent. It's been burning in the morning time. Now, this is my backup from 2024. And again, this one's not having any issues. So again, I don't know where the wick issues came from, but this one is burning really nicely for me. This one, very solid strength and throw. This one's about a 9 for me right now. I don't know if that's because it's been sitting for a year, but I do remember that even the first one that I burned through last year also had very strong performance for me. And I can't remember who had suggested it, but I took their suggestion last year and then I kind of got the megaphone and said, hey, you guys, this is an excellent combination. Juicy strawberry from the Reserve line mixed with that Easter Brunch. You will thank me later. It is such a wonderful combination. Juicy strawberry has fragrance notes of juicy strawberries, lemon leaf, tomato vine, parsley, sheer basil, violet leaf, oak moss, geranium, and musk. Now this strawberry fragrance is more like it includes the green, like leafy element of a strawberry, a very freshly picked strawberry. This is not an artificial strawberry that you might get in some other fragrances. It's not like a strawberry that you would find in like a cocktail drink. I actually do get like the greenness of maybe like a tomato vine in this candle. Very, very well done. This one is also very strong for me, almost a 9 in terms of strength and throw. In fact, I was burning this one in my bedroom and the Easter Brunch out here in the living room the other day, and I could smell this one escaping out of the bedroom and coming out here, which I wasn't mad about because, again, it's a wonderful fragrance combination, but I've really been loving that combo. And then what else do I have here? I'm trying to show you guys all of the candles that like I haven't done dedicated reviews on yet, but they are coming probably this week. We have Spanish Moss from the new spring and summer collection. We have fragrance notes of moss, floral, aromatic, wood, patchouli, and musk. Now, this fragrance is one of those scents that I feel like it goes nicely for this time of year, but you could also use this as like a summer to fall transitional scent when you're not ready for all of the apples and pumpkins, but you're over all of the, like, say, like coconut or beachy type of fragrances, banana, that kind of stuff, even like fruity cocktail drinks. When you're done with that, you're ready to transition to fall. This is a nice fragrance because it's green, it's vibrant, but it also kind of smells, I don't want to say dirty because I described in a couple of reviews earlier this week that like freesia comes across to me as like dirty flower. It's not dirty or too earthy, but there is something about this that kind of gives you a little bit of that like petrichor type of fragrance, like almost after the rain. But I like this scent. It's just like a very different type of green scent than like a fresh flower type of green. It smells mossy to me. Now, they did have a moss fragrance last year in the Reserve lineup. I did end up decluttering that, even though I did enjoy it. And now I'm like, oh man, I could have kept that and burned the two of them together. But I feel like this one will pair really nicely in the fall with a couple of Halloween fragrances as well. So yeah, this one is nice. I will share with you the candle that I have been burning it with, right now, but I do like it. Strength and Throw's been pretty good on it so far too. It's been about an 8, but I will do my dedicated review on that candle for you guys this week. I have enjoyed pairing it with Easter Petals. Now, initially I burned Easter Petals with bunnies and flowers. Easter Petals has top notes of sparkling lemon, petitgrain twigs, Italian bergamot, neroli blossom, patchouli, musks, and amber. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, this is one that I actually think that I might repurchase. I get the lemon on the top note. The lemon mixed with the neroli almost comes across a little bit like honeysuckle to my nose. Very sweet, floral type of scent, but there's a bright zestiness to it, which again, I think is the lemon and the bergamot notes in there, mixed with like an orange blossom, neroli type of fragrance. It's green, it's fresh, it's very, very pretty. I said that this is like a fresh spring day, like it's nice and sunny and bright out. And then the bunnies and flowers had similar elements, but it was more like you've got your clouds lingering still, like it just rained. Everything's kind of a little bit dewy and wet. That I feel like that was the kind of the contrast I had between these two. So that's why I've actually been enjoying burning this with the Spanish moss, because Spanish moss, not the same fragrance, but again, it's a little bit more like dewy and earthy green still, but has more of those accords in it. And I feel like they complement each other very, very well. Let's see. From the new Reserve line that launched last week, we have Kringle's White Lotus. We have fragrance notes here of floral, citrus, dewy green, aldehydes, and musk. Now, I had said this was the surprise. This was my second favorite of the new Reserve line. Number one for me was Minty Melon, which I will get into burning that probably more after Easter. I can say I'm probably going more into May. May is when I like to burn melon fragrances. But White Lotus, I have said this is kind of soapy to my nose in a really good way. It kind of reminds me of Dove body wash. There's a bit of creaminess to this. Again, like a body wash. It's soapy. I would say that if you're somebody who likes the fragrance coral, not the same scent. Coral is slightly a little bit more traditionally feminine in some of its fragrance makeup, but this is kind of like neutral. I would say it's not super feminine. It's not super masculine. It's just kind of fresh, soapy, like body care, like body wash soapy. I keep going back to like, this is like a Dove or Caress type of body wash. The aldehydes give it kind of like that watery thing going on. Floral and citrus. It's not overly citrus to me. It's probably leans a little bit more floral. But again, not really like a floral note that I can really pinpoint exactly what it is. But I do like this fragrance, and it's been performing pretty well for me as well, about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. And I have been burning that in the evening with the new country candle Seaside. Now this, I did mention, was one of my top favorites. This one and the fresh bergamot from the country lineup were my two winners for the spring and summer collection, and I still feel that way after burning them. We have fragrance notes of bergamot, soft fruit, lavender, herbal, driftwood, and moss. Now this fragrance, I had mentioned that if you liked in the Christmas collection, they had a fragrance called Christmas in Manhattan. And this smells to me like Christmas in Manhattan, but you swapped out the winter minty air, cold air vibe for more of like a driftwood, beachy, seaside type of vibe. That's what it smells like. You get that the notes of lavender, bergamot, herbal, yes, but the driftwood in here really comes out when this is burning. I really like this one. It leans a little bit more masculine cologne like, so if you tend to like those types of fragrances, you will probably enjoy this. But this is a really, really nice fragrance. I like to burn this mostly in the evening, or again, like the other day we had like some cloudy, rainy weather, and I liked burning this. It's different from what I normally burn, but I've really, really been enjoying it. Let's talk about another Homeworx candle that was sent to me last week, and I did show you guys this. This is Iced Cherry Fizz. Fragrance notes on this are wild cherries, lemon fizz soda, juicy pineapple, and sugared raspberries. Now, here's the thing with this candle, you guys. I burned it once the other night, and I burned it in combination with another fragrance that we'll talk about here in just a moment. And I did not like that combination. You know, sometimes we experiment and we learn like, oh, sometimes it works well for us, right? We'll see similar fragrance notes and be like, oh, those should complement each other. Other times we do it and we're like, oh, no, that wasn't good. In fact, if you caught my lilac macaron review, I told you guys, I thought that would pair beautifully with fresh lilac. No, it did not. Did not like that at all. So iced cherry fizz. The other night I burned this again with another cherry fragrance that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And I thought that I would have loved that combo, but I didn't. The combination was coming off almost weird to me. And I think what was clashing was the notes in here that's giving this a little bit of like an effervescent is the combination of the lemon fizz with pineapple. And my nose doesn't quite know what to think of that. Now, do I smell cherry? Yes, I do. Homeworx does tend to do cherry fragrances pretty well. I would say for somebody who doesn't always love cherry scents, most of the time, I feel like I've been like 50-50 with Homeworx cherry fragrances. Now, this to me, I smell cherry, but it is that combination of the lemon fizz, lemon fizz soda, the pineapple, and the raspberries that I don't know. You guys, there's something about this that is coming across a little bit sour to my nose. I'm not loving it. Strength and Throw was pretty good on it the other night, though, when I did burn it for the first time. Enough that it was wafting out here into the living room. And I'll just tell you here in just a minute what it was combining with. And I was like, oh, that's not a good combo. So I did go ahead and extinguish it. Now I did trim the wicks. Did I trim the wicks on this one? No, I didn't. This one so far doesn't have bad wicks on it, but also in fairness, I only burned this candle for about an hour because I was not enjoying the fragrance I was getting from it. And so the other candle that I was burning it with, thinking like, oh, that might be a good combination, was the New Reserve Cherry Cola. Fragrance notes on that are cherry, cola, effervescence, ginger, and sweet. So here I am thinking, okay, we've got two cherry soda type of drinks, but okay, this one, I already told you guys that this cherry cola does not smell like cherry cola to my nose. It almost smells like off-brand cherry cola, I guess. It's not like cherry Coke. The cherry note that I'm getting in here is like cherry syrup. It's like the what you find like in the maraschino cherry, like the cherry syrup that they use to make Shirley Temples. That's the cherry note that I'm picking up in here. But it's mixed with this like whatever is supposed to make up the dark cola note in here isn't hitting right to my nose. First and foremost, it's not as bubbly and effervescent as I would think a soda would be. It smells kind of flat to me. The soda note smells flat. And I think it's the ginger and whatever they're using for cola. It almost smells like maybe there's like, maybe not molasses, but like there's like a brown sugar. I don't know. It smells kind of weird. And truthfully, the other night when I was burning this candle, I was kind of like, I don't really know what to think about this, but I was just thinking that to myself. And my 11-year-old daughter, Piper, who I actually just had let the cat out, and my husband both said, like, my husband was like, are you burning a candle in here? Like, I had it burning in one of the other areas in the living room that wasn't as obvious. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you think of it? He's like, it smells weird. And my youngest one, Piper, chimed in. She was like, yeah, it smells weird in here. So I burned this one again outside yesterday just to try to get another burn in on it. But you guys, I will try to burn this one a couple more times so that way I can give you some dedicated post-burn thoughts. But as of right now, I don't see myself holding on to this one. And I would say that if you are looking for like an authentic cherry Coke fragrance, the one that I did burn last year, I haven't seen it make a return yet, but it was part of the Homeworx Carnival collection. It was the Bing Cherry Cola. That was like a very authentic cherry Coke fragrance, but that one so far not cutting it for me. So, I told you that was a lot of candles to talk about. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have burned any of these fragrances, what your thoughts are on them. You guys, help me out here. I did see a couple of you guys comment on my Caramel Sundays video that you also bought Bakery on Maine and you're finding it to be very light. So let me know, for those of you who maybe have purchased it quite a few times, what has your burn experience been? Or maybe if you guys can give us if you've had good experience with it, like it's been strong for you, let us know. Are you in a smaller, more closed concept type of home? Or, give us some tips and tricks. That being said, you guys, I honestly think that I would still possibly reconsider purchasing the fragrance in a 2-wick, and then probably just placing it in a hurricane. I think that's going to be my plan for probably the April restock. Is let me see if I purchase it in a 2-wick and I pop it into a hurricane to see if I could get better strength and throw. As it is right now, I don't have a hurricane big enough to fit this 4-wick, but I would be curious to see if that would help with the performance. So stay tuned this week, you guys. I will have some more dedicated post-burn reviews for you. I also have a couple of candle hauls on the way to me. I do have a couple of fragrances that I ordered from Homeworx should be in. I did also participate in the launch last week at Kringle, not the new reserves because they were kind enough to have sent those to me in PR, but they did that little surprise drop on us where they included those new like 3-wicks, which truthfully, you guys, they're like labeled 3-wicks. They're not as pretty as the jars that are painted. But they did launch those candles with a tremendous price point of 3 for $33. So I did go ahead and purchase 6 fragrances to share with all of you guys and review. And while I was at it, I actually decided to throw in a 4-wick. I actually only have one 4-wick in my collection right now from Kringle, and that is the Bourbon Bonfire that they sent me last year in PR. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet on another 4-wick. But oddly enough, the fragrance that I purchased, which I will share with you guys next week, is one that I had 2 years ago. It's not talked about a whole lot, but it is a beautiful summer fragrance. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. So if you don't want to miss out on what I have hauled and more dedicated candle reviews, and I also plan to share with you guys a mid-April empties, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that way you don't miss out on any of the fun content coming up. So please hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this very lengthy video. Thank you very much for sticking it out with me on this one. I know that this was a little bit lengthier, and I hope that it actually didn't have any issues, but we'll see about that. So anyways, you guys, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.